And it's showtime. Let's get ready to rumble. My allergies are killing me today. My eyes are red. My nose is running. I don't know what's going on. Something's in the air. How's it for you out there on the West Coast?
It's pretty chill. It just got to freezing like last night, and so fortunately we just restored the heater in the house, so we have heat.
Heat is a good thing. I have one of those fancy dish heater things that Costco always sells. Got one of those. It cooked my elbow yesterday. It was too close to me.
Oh man, that's the one where if you tip it over, it makes that really loud noise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those.
Pretty atrocious. I used to have it out in the garage, and then I just brought it into this office space. I'm in the corner of my house. It seems to be like the coldest corner, which is okay. As someone like that, I like it cooler. I'm not someone that has the heat on high all the time,
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of weird physical things, I think the dog stepped on my toe like a month ago, 2 months ago or something. Like I stubbed my toe really hard or something, and it bruised at the back of my toenail. The whole toenail started to come up, and now I'm like, so now I'm not even wearing shoes because I'm like, oh, it's gonna get caught on my sock and rip off of there, and I'm gonna be like, ow.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds rough.
So I'm waiting to see if my toenail gonna come off. Nobody cares about this stuff. Nobody wants to know. Here's what everyone is happy about. They're happy that it's cold as heck in Canada, and it's December. That means we're back to normal. We don't have to talk about Cyber Monday and Black Friday and deals and all that kind of stuff, which takes us back to our original deal. Do you remember what the original deal was?
55% off with the AMA gift.
55% off with AMA-gift. So you're going to go to LifterLMS.com and you're going to go to /AMA-gift, and that is going to give you a 55% off discount. So we're popping that into the comments right now, and we'll get that shared up here on screen. And that's the big news now, right? This is our regular 55% off coupon for people that join the Ask Me Anything call, and LifterLMS.com /AMA-gift. Delphine loves your hat.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm putting oil on my head right now, so my hair is really stringy, so I need some kind of a hat to top it off. Do you rub oil in your head, Kurt?
Is that to make it thicker?
Yeah, it's just to hydrate my hair and just kind of give it some volume.
I have a castor oil based stuff I can put in my beard, and it's supposed to make it twice as full. It doesn't work. It just makes it greasy.
No. Well, for me, the oil is I leave it in for a few hours before taking a shower, and then it makes it all hydrated and curly, whereas it's all dry and straight. But I don't do that.
All right. I'm with you so far. So Gary Alderson is with us today. Welcome to the call, Gary. It is negative 16 degrees Celsius where he is at Manitoba. So he's up there. We got another Canadian in British Columbia. So in Merritt, it's negative 2 degrees there. I feel like I want to put one of those green screen walls behind me with a map and just start pointing to where everybody's at. So Delphine jumped in and said hi to Gary, which is nice. It's nice to see people actually getting along with each other in our areas. And the first question that we got today, and I wasn't sure how to answer it, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Emily, is can I use something like pound, $plan, pound in the email template?
So I'm assuming, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but that you're looking for an access plan dynamic URL. We're talking about plans, so I'm assuming that means access plan. And there's not a dynamic way to populate an access plan into an email template in Lifter. I can share my screen for people who are possibly newer to Lifter too, and kind of show what options you'd have if you wanted to insert an access plan into an email, or what the merge codes that are available are. let me see. So if I go to sites, my site, view site, and then I'll share my screen here. I'm always used to pre-preparing my screen now, so I am a little lost. There we go. Sites, Lifter Sandbox. There we go. So on my LifterLMS demo site in engagements, emails, this is where we can structure emails that we can send out to customers on an automatic basis. We also have some emails under LifterLMS settings and notifications. So there's two places emails could be coming out of LifterLMS, and it's either notifications or a custom created engagement. When we're in the custom created engagement, we have access to these merge codes, and these merge codes are what we can add to our email. But in addition to the merge codes, the short codes also work in here. So if you have a custom field short code, you can make that work in an email. So if I go like this, and then I look at my Lifter short codes, you can see these are short codes, and they're a little bit different than merge codes, because if I insert a merge code, we'll see it uses this curly bracket system, and the short code has this like straight bracket system. So these are different sets of codes, but they both work within emails. So if you wanted to do a custom fields add-on from LifterLMS, which is one that's available, you can create your own custom short codes, and they use user metadata. So if you have someone fill out their company name at checkout, it will become a short code, LMS company phone, and then we can add that to an email template, a company name. And so that's an option there to create your own custom meta fields, but there's not a way to insert an access plan via a merge code. And some users have also pointed out how there's not a way to insert a course name either. You do have to create a unique email per course. So if you wanted to say like, welcome to X course, you'd have to create an email for this course, the next course, and the next course that are all different and individual to that course to send an engagement for that. If you wanted to go above and beyond this email system, you could use the WP Fusion or Fluent CRM or Groundhog, and then with that CRM, you can store even more data, including purchase plan information, course information, etc. So that's how I would approach that question.
Shazam. I knew you'd be the person to take that one, because I would have been like, you have access to support, right?
But I'm sure it could be custom coded, because the website does know who purchased what access plan. So a custom developer could take the purchase plan you got and add it to an email, but I'm not sure exactly what. Yeah, access plan is what Gary's referring to there. So yeah. I'm curious what the use case is for adding an access plan to the email, just in case. We might be able to identify a solution potentially via another route. I know the purchase receipt email includes some information like a transaction ID, amount, plan. So plan title is something that's in this purchase receipt email. I don't think you can put this in an email that doesn't have the plan title field, because this is using an order post type to trigger this notification. So it actually knows different information than what the email engagements do. It has access to what the plan that was purchased is, and this is part of the purchase receipt. But this is probably the closest thing out of the box you're looking for, but it's only in the purchase receipt.
I wonder if he wants to like insert the access plan because he thinks people would be able to make a purchase from the email. But then instead of the access plan, you would just use the purchase link.
Yeah, purchase link. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, if you go to courses or memberships, either one, on any of your courses and memberships, you'll have a purchase link for every access plan. So if I scroll down, there's my Start Strong, and then this is that link, that URL. It's mysite.com/purchase/plan. You can send that link to anybody, and they can go right to checkout for that access plan.
Right to checkout.
Right to checkout.
Right to like a WP Launchify.
Yeah.
All right. I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, he did put the use case in down here at the bottom. It says to inform student and proctor of the plan name that was bought. Some plans allow 2 attempts of the exam. Well, then that would be the receipt email.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is the challenge is the student can get their information, but the proctor. Let's see, like what our options might be. I think if the instructor can get the email. So if I go to notifications, purchase receipt, email. We could do author, course author or student, and you could do additional recipients. But the problem is that this is asking for a static email address. So this would be your accountant for your business, or this would be like potentially like, I don't know, an automated Zapier thing. I don't know what kind of email you'd put in here, but mostly it's going to be an accountant. It's not going to be like, instructor email or group leader email. It can only go to author and student currently. So
yeah. Gary says no problem. But still, it's good to see that stuff, especially people that are new. We have a lot of new people, folks, and if you're one of them, pop into the comments and, say hi, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, all that fun stuff. We just went through Black Friday and, of course, the Cyber Monday lifetime offer that was out, and it was a successful year. So I would assume we're going to have a pretty high run in the next couple of weeks of people coming. And then folks that are new to the Universe and Infinity bundle, we're doing we're doing your live welcome call on the 9th. So we're going to meet a lot of new people, a lot of new users on the 9th, me and Emily. So I think Chris is coming to that call too. Now, we do have one of those awkward questions, and I guess I'm going to be a little brave and take this one head on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
From Jane. As a lifetime Infinity customer, how can we access one-to-one developer support? You get priority support with our bundles. So, you can fill out a support ticket, and you can send in when you fill out a support ticket, you also send in a system report, so we know what your website's built on, what it's hosted with, what other tools are with it. And you submit a specific issue or specific problem, and we can help you with a support ticket that way. We do these Ask Us Anything calls. We also have the office hours, that we do every week. And so when this call's over, Emily and I get an hour break, and then we jump onto another call with bundle members, and that's based in Zoom, so people can come in and through a Hive process, with everybody, we can say, okay, who's got a problem, who's got a question, and then we run through things and do screen shares, and it's really nice because people help each other out. There's a lot of peer-to-peer stuff in there, but I get the feeling from the question, this isn't what this is asking for. I get the feeling from the question that this is like, how can I, dial up Emily or dial up Kurt on a one-to-one Zoom call for 3 hours on a Tuesday, and that's just not part of the plan. It's not part of the program. I don't know of any real plugin that's offered that offers that kind of one-to-one training. We do have the Academy. It has a lot of free courses on how to use our product. We have a developer Slack channel for real developers that are like trying to develop, integrations and things like that. We have, we've got these calls, and we've got support. We've got the Facebook group. And there's 2 Facebook groups. There's one that's for the general public, and there's one that's for Universe and Infinity bundle users. So you can join that. But other than that, it comes down to the experts link. And we refer a lot of people to the experts link because that's where the experts are. So LifterLMS.com/experts is where you can get a fully vetted list of experts in the industry that have worked with LifterLMS. They're knowledgeable with LifterLMS, and you can hire them to walk you through a custom project or a build or whatever you want to do. I'm on there. Emily's on there. Dale's in there. I think Susie's still on there. I think, there's just a bunch of great people that are in that listing. And so whether your project is large or small, that's a really good source. One of the sources in the experts link is a company called Codable. And when I have a client reach out to me that's for like a smaller but very specific, like custom coding kind of a thing, like, I want let's say someone says, I want my user reporting to be on the front end, right? So, okay, well, go to Codable, and submit a request, and they'll find someone in their organization that can code that for you. And that would be like a one-off project that would just get done. My agency typically focuses on full projects. Emily, what do you really focus on now?
I do like recurring contract work, website setups. So I'll maintain people's WordPress websites ongoing, help them get set up with LifterLMS. I'm still pretty like dynamically open to any kind of clients who need help, whether it's like just a few hours to consult and figure out what their site's about or what they need to set up, or whether it's a more expansive site build. So all of it, or custom development too.
Yeah, I would say you're really gifted with the troubleshooting thing. You get to people's issues pretty quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I see this question come up every now and then, and there's some kind of an assumption that, well, I got the Infinity bundle, so someone's going to hop on and teach me or coach me, and that's just not part of the plan. So, but there is a ton of resources. I can remember when I was shopping for an LMS, 10 years ago, and nobody was even close to LifterLMS when it came to the knowledge base, the support, the getting answers quickly, resources, being able to reach out to people. There was always, every question I had, I could self-serve myself really well through the knowledge base. But then if I didn't quite understand it, there was stuff on YouTube, and that's when I used to watch a lot of Adam Priestler's videos. He used to do a lot of Lifter stuff. But hey, that's it in a nutshell. That question's kind of answered and pounded through. Was there anything you wanted to add to that?
Not specifically. I think like the highest level support we offer at Lifter is that office hours call where you can come talk to us within the group chat, and then also the priority support in the in the general inbox.
Yeah. The support is I haven't had to use it often. Like if I think about like my lifetime use with LifterLMS, how many times have I actually had to send in a support ticket? The knowledge base is really fruitful. There's a lot of stuff that's already covered there. So if you let your fingers do the walking and you do some homework on your own, usually there's an answer readily available. What I'm finding is a lot of people are trying to morph the product or change the product and get it to do something odd, and then they're frustrated when it doesn't do something it wasn't really built to do. And so sometimes support's not the answer for that one, right? But sometimes you have to get a custom developer to morph something to do it what you want it to do.
Yeah, and if you can get really clear about what you're looking to do and be able to ask support that, it makes it a lot easier to get like a good answer fast.
Yeah, screen shares, mock-ups. If you could build an image of something in Figma, like I'm trying to do this, then sometimes when someone can show it to you, they'll show you something, you go, oh, well, it doesn't do that. Yeah. No wonder you're having a problem. It doesn't do that. So that's one of those things. We have another question that came through on one of the pre-reserved questions, and this is the last of the pre-reserved questions, and we've got 40 minutes left of this call. So if you're on this call and you've got a question, or you just want to say hi, or ask us who our favorite Star Trek character is, you should do that, because we're going to be looking for content here in about 3.5 minutes. So this question's from Brad. What do you think of this one?
Let's see. So from Brad, need a step-by-step guide to switch from LifterLMS memberships to PM Pro. Well, Brad, I would point you to the experts link in the chat. Let me see. So I've gone from PM Pro into Lifter memberships. I think the big challenge there is that if you have recurring transactions going in your memberships, you have month-over-month people, transferring those recurring memberships over to PM Pro is going to be a complicated thing to do. I could look it up and see if there's a migration guide, because the two companies are jointly owned by like the same people in some ways. Like the people who own PM Pro also own a part of Lifter, and so there's a lot of working between the companies and integration between the companies, but I'm not sure if there's a specific migration guide for PM Pro and LifterLMS.
Yeah, this is like the opposite that I usually see. Usually someone has a membership site and they're like, I want to use Lifter and it has membership tools, so how do I convert to Lifter? Not how do I stop using Lifter? there is a use case where if you already have Paid Memberships Pro and you want to install LifterLMS, they actually have a page for it. It's linked in our recommended resources link. But Paid Memberships Pro has a use case where you can add LifterLMS without the membership tools. Like it's a stripped down LifterLMS. Right?
Yeah. And I think probably what I would do here is to leave LifterLMS and your payment gateways you have active on Lifter and just keep those recurring transactions going for the legacy people, but then to also have Paid Memberships Pro take over your sales and have new people come in the door with PM Pro. With churn rates being about 50% year over year on average for most memberships, you're really only looking at like 3 years at a time until the amount of people who are on a legacy subscription with the old platform is like not very many people, to the point where it's not a significant issue to the business if they wanted to shut down those subscriptions and offer people a renewal on a new package. That's always the big fear, is like, well, if we shut down our tech and we have to send invite links to everyone else to rejoin and re-sign up with a new link, we're going to lose a lot of customers in that process, because maybe only 50% of the people we email are going to take us up on that deal and renew with our new system. But if you give it a few years on a legacy system to run in the background, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, like I said, I've always seen it the other way, where someone has Paid Memberships Pro and they want to add courses to a pre-existing membership site. And that's the resource I just put on the screen. But to have LifterLMS with, fully operating membership stuff in it, and then try to convert to Paid Memberships Pro, that's a little messier.
Yeah. It definitely is.
Well, that's it. That's all we got today.
That's all we got today.
We got 38 minutes left. What do you want to talk about?
We could talk about Terminator 3. We could talk about someone on a previous call asked us about that. But yeah, let us know in the chat any questions you have. We could just kind of walk through a demo of what LifterLMS is and does.
Yeah.
We haven't done that in a while, so I could just pull up my screen and share. So what I'm looking at now, for anyone who doesn't know, is a LifterLMS demo site. This is available on the website lifterlms.com/try, and it's like $1. We host it for you. It has all the features of the Infinity Bundle, so you can try things out on our server. You don't have to set up a WordPress instance or anything like that. And then in the back end of our demo, we can see all the add-ons LifterLMS has under the plugins listing. But some of the highlights that you get to try in the demo would be things like the private coaching add-on, where you can have a private one-to-one coaching with a student. Like in this case, this is student Bernie. Hi Bernie, I want to personally welcome you to the Private Coaching Academy. I'll be in touch tomorrow. And so this is for a specific student in a specific course, and then that student can comment back to us and say, I'm very excited, thanks for the opportunity. And the instructor can talk to them back here, and the student can see their discussions on their student dashboard. And so this is one-to-one coaching.
I think one of the least used, most ignored tools in Lifter.
Yeah.
And it really is pretty cool.
Yeah, it has a lot to offer for people who are just entering the industry. I think one of the cutting edge things that you'll have to offer as someone who might be starting an online course site relative or compared to someone who has an established course site with a bunch of students in it. If you're starting out, one of the things you have to offer is personalization and time. And so having a higher tier package where, because you're not going to have a mass volume of students, or you're less likely to have a mass volume of students coming in to support your revenue month over month at like a $10 a month, $30 a month price range. So being able to offer coaching at higher price tiers by saying, like, for $50 a month, we're going to do a group Zoom call, or for $100, $200 a month, $300 a month, you can get me one-to-one week over week for a 30-minute session to help you with this process of engaging with whatever you're learning. That offer is something that you can make as a small creator that bigger creators just can't make that kind of an offer. They can't sell that kind of a deal because they can't give their time in that specificity on that price range. They just can't do it. So you have something to offer the industry that the other people don't, and private areas add-on is a really good way to do that. And then as you scale over time, the one-to-one clients you teach might become more $1,000 a month, $2,000, $3,000 a month, and then your price of admission for your general content will become better because it will be inspired by what you create from your one-to-one content. So I really think that this is under leveraged by especially new users. But then we also have groups. If you're selling a training course into an organization or a membership into an organization on your website, so with the content you create, you might not necessarily be selling it to individuals who are purchasing their own training. If it's continuing education training, if it's requirement training for certain careers, or training that the person taking the course might not be the one to search up and buy, you could sell into an organization who could buy that course on behalf of the people who will take it. So it's much easier to sell one sale. I mean, I don't know, it's not much easier because each sale is exponentially harder, but it's you're selling less clients via these organizations. It could be a school board, it could be selling your training into companies that need your industry training, whatever it might be. You're selling these organizations, and when you sell them, you're buying into all of their customers. So they would purchase a LifterLMS group from you. Groups can be created. If we go to a course and say like the college planning course is a perfect course that a school board might be interested in purchasing on behalf of the students in their class. So we can go say school board. If you go to the board, they're interested in your program, you give them a sample of your curriculum, they're interested in making a purchase order and going through the buying process. You could do that all manually, or you could even have a variable seating with LifterLMS groups to say the minimum group seats you can buy is 10, the maximum number of group seats you can buy is 200. And this is on the access plan. You can say price per plan is $100, and then you can send this access plan for college planning to school boards. So if I open in a new tab, it opens up a new angle to sell our courses. So a la carte, it says 500. But if we imagine that like parents one-on-one can come buy the course for their students to plan for college with this plan, they could also get a membership to all the content on our website if they wanted to, or a school board could come and purchase bulk seats at a discounted rate. So they could get 100 seats for 100 students in a graduating class to join the college planning course. It's a new angle of sales LifterLMS groups ads. And Kurt pointed out a really cool use case for this the other day, where you could say like, if you're going to do mega buy from school board, if they're going to go above 200 seats from you and they're going to purchase for like a massive class, they could get down to $50 per seat. However, the minimum number of seats that you can purchase would be, this is going to be 201 to 400. So you can get a massive discount for $50 into the course if you're buying in bulk. It's kind of a cool feature. So if if you're going for 200 seats, you get that $100 rate. But if you're going for 201, this math that I put together didn't work. But basically, if you want 300 seats or 400 seats, you could offer them a bulk discount. I think 50% off is a little radical. I did 150, but whatever. You could do $80 a seat. But that kind of thing is a cool ability to offer your courses. If you can create your course content and you're struggling to sell it to individuals, that's another angle you could take with a LifterLMS add-on to try to sell it into organizations, or even do both at the same time. What do you think about that, Kurt?
I'm all about that. The whole group's bulk purchase option to me is a game changer. I would much rather sell my course to 10 people and have 150 paid users than try to sell it to 150 people. Like it's a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around it, especially if they're new to course creation, because they might not be thinking in terms of groups or adding value to bulk groups of people. But that's my example with power sports training. I try to do multiple dealerships at a time. And it's that way when I work in the marine industry. When I'm teaching the marine dealerships how to increase their business, we typically have 5 or more dealers in a group at a time. So we'll have 18 or 20 people on a Zoom session. But it's we sold that training to, 5 or 7 dealerships at once, instead of having to do that training dealer by dealer.
Right.
Yeah.
And that just it's for some businesses that works like really well. I know like we all have different sales and marketing instincts, and some people are at the point in the industry where they can make deals with those bigger organizations and gain that authority and trust in the ecosystem, and then they are qualified to deliver those huge courses. But then you also have people in the industry who are trying to approve themselves, get some cutting edge training, and they might be delivering more one-to-one content.
Yeah. Now, Gary's got a question. I saw it on Facebook last week. I know Chris answered on Facebook, but this is one that's worth bringing up so that other people can kind of understand how things work a little bit. Chris said that staging was fine for products. The license I bought for notes, it works fine in production, but when I install it in development, after a few days, it removes it with a LifterLMS message. A lot of that is going to be host related. So we have tools. So first off, yes, you can use your products in staging sites. That's not a problem. So let's say that you have the Earth bundle, and you have your site, and you have a duplicate of the site and staging that you play with, and then you go back and forth between staging and production. We don't have any rules against you using the product in a staging site. Like that's totally fine. The snarky answer is, hey, if you had Infinity, you could put it on as many sites as you want anyway. But if you have a limitation, you can use the products in staging sites. However, plugins generally have some type of code in them that's recognized as a staging site. For instance, if you're a SCORM-based website and you're using GrassBlade, Next Solutions is one of the strictest single site license tools I've ever seen in my life. You have to put your staging site on a specifically formatted subdomain for them to recognize it as a staging site, so that you could have GrassBlade in 2 work areas. It's and not for nothing, my host doesn't structure staging sites the way that GrassBlade wants them structured, so it doesn't work that way. But if your host uses some kind of an awkward or off common staging structure, then the software might not recognize it as a staging site. Usually you can submit a support ticket and you can alert us to it, and then we can take a look for you.
Yeah. No, and notes, it works when I install development after a few days, it removes the LifterLMS message. Sorry, I can't remember the exact message. One thing you could do too is if you go to the add-ons and more section, you could reinstall your license key. If you go to my I love the image got stretched there. That's funny to see, right? What is this? LMS podcast sponsorship. Ooh, I've never seen that. But yeah, you can add your license key.
Limited time only.
One time only. Now I want to know what this is about.
I think it's like 10 grand.
12 grand, one in stock. Oh, it's a square and it's being condensed. I see. Interesting. I'm curious that like this doesn't say what exactly this is. Like what does a sponsorship mean? What does it mean to sponsor for a year? I mean, you got to learn more and contact Lifter, but I think that it's like a 30-second commercial, like what WP Tonic had done a while back. But I've never seen that before. But my license keys, you can reinstall your license key, and that might fix the issue. But what you want to make sure that you do is when you go to LifterLMS status to make sure that your site is registered as a staging website, is go to Tools and Utilities, and then there's one of these, I think it's reset automatic payment status. And then this allows me, I gotta leave this page, I guess, because the notifications are not here. Where can I see I might not be able to do it on a demo site, but there's a pop-up that
it's like when you migrate one of our sites, it'll always come up in staging first, and then you have to reset payments.
Yeah, it's an orange staging button next to orders, and that's how you know your site's in staging mode. I guess on the demo site you can't do the payment thing. There are certain options in LifterLMS had been disabled on the demo site, so that's probably one of them. Yeah, so notifications don't pop up from random plugins, so we've just disabled all the notifications. So we can't actually set it to staging mode on the demo site environment, but on your live environment, just click that reset payment status, and notification will pop up, and then you say like, yes, keep my recurring orders on hold, and then your site will have an orange button next to orders that says staging. That's how I put it in staging mode, so that I can have my live site and my staging site on one license. That's it.
Shazam! Couple of ways to skin that cat. All right, 24 minutes. 24 minutes. Boom. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, no problem.
Every time I migrate, or even if we like change a site, like if we change let's say I'm on a development URL in the server, and then I go to map the customer's URL to the product, I have to re-enable recurring payments to get staging to go away, right? It's just like one of those things that always comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really tired today. Are you tired today?
Yeah, I'm tired today. I was just up late last night watching TV. So
yeah, I can't really blame it on TV. What do you watch on TV? There's nothing. Oh, you're young. You're not even watching TV. You're probably just watching YouTube on TV.
Oh yeah, I'm watching like Netflix streaming stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let me check my Ask Us Anything responses. We're all cleared up there. I was trying to think of a couple of things that I'd seen in, kind of like in the help tickets that we review sometimes. Mm-hmm. And a couple of the things that have come up recently, it's more like, how do I know when someone makes a payment? Can I get a notification when someone pays? Can I get a notification if someone's payment fails? I seem to be getting a lot of those lately.
Yeah, let's explore that. If we see in LifterLMS settings notifications, that's where you'll find like the payment status emails. So if we go to Lifter settings notifications, we can look at, I think payment failed is one of these. Let's see. So payment retry. I guess this is going to be if someone has a recurring processing on your website. So they have a once a yearly payment and their card expires or fails for some reason, it will email them and say that the payment's going to be retried. I don't think there's a payment failed if someone showed up to your website for the first time, tried to place an order, and then that payment failed. But I think that you can set that up in Stripe. So I would set that up in Stripe to see if a declined transaction is possible. And I can look that up too. Stripe notification. Let's see. So, failed payment notification. Stripe automatically sends an email to your customer after each failed payment. The email lets your customer know. But I'm just wondering if the admin can get an email, set up account email notifications. Let's look at this. So Stripe can notify an account of activity if a payment is successfully made, if a payment is disputed, if a payment is marked elevated risk, application fee is collected, a teammate mentions you in a note. So I guess you can't get a notification if a payment fails. It's kind of weird. I just don't see an option for that.
If you go into orders, you'll see the flag for failed orders, but I don't think there's a notification for it.
Right. I'm trying to see, is there any way that we can do that? We see, on hold and failed as one of the payment statuses we might see here. Let me remove my screen and see, is there, a way to... if we do, a Zapier Stripe integration and see what's available. I wonder if there's a trigger for payment. So supported triggers, canceled subscription, failed payment. Okay, so this is something that might be available for that. This is like a complicated use case, but Zapier is something that you can use on the web to set up automations. So if someone buys something in third-party software, like maybe you're selling a course on Shopify and you want to enroll them in WordPress, Zapier can facilitate the transaction, watching it happen on Shopify and then creating an account in WordPress. We have some tutorials about how to use LifterLMS with Zapier to create users and have if external Zapier things come into LifterLMS, create users and students and enrollments. But they also do failed payments. So you can say, when a payment fails in Stripe, I want to trigger an email to myself. So that would be something possible with Zapier. You could even do like a text message or something. I think that's a really good way to follow up too. You could also probably hit up your CRM. If you have like a Groundhog or a Fluent CRM or ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or something, you could have a system or an automation that is called failed payment. And then in failed payment, the student gets an email that says, hey, we saw your payment failed. Here's some alternative ways to pay us with Cash App or Venmo or PayPal or whatever. So that's a possibility. So then when someone tries their credit card, it fails, Zapier sees that happen, and then they add someone to your ActiveCampaign automation, and then that ActiveCampaign automation hits them up and says, here's some alternative payment methods. That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a good one. You had me thinking about that, so I just went in to take a look at my automations in Fluent. I wanted to see if that was one of them.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Might be there. Add. Remove a tag. Email. Lifter. Fluent. Yeah, I don't see anything about payments as a Fluent. Cancel automations is there, but I don't see one for a failed payment. I'll have to look.
Yeah, it's
Or
probably
maybe I can make them.
Yeah, it's a good market because a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah. Cool. Delphine wants to know who your favorite Star Trek character is.
Oh, I don't watch Star Trek, so I would have to just say Spock as a generic figurehead.
So you're the logical one.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kirk? Is it Captain Kirk?
Well, no, because that's too easy to say that. And then everyone say,
yeah.
he always wants to be the boss. He always wants to be in charge, blah, blah, blah. As a kid, we used to just love, I'm giving it all I can, Captain. We used to love adopting him and making fun of him. And then if you get older, and you see the newer versions of Star Trek, there's all the different ones, right? Captain Picard, he was an interesting guy. And I can't remember the dude's name that was number one. He had a pretty good character. Solid. It ain't no Buck Rogers. Do you remember Buck Rogers?
No, I have no clue what that means.
That was a whole other show. You don't know the character Buck Rogers?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, you got something else to look up on YouTube, I guess. Reeby. He had a robot that made that noise. He had a droid that went with him and fought.
Gary says definitely Scotty.
Yeah, definitely Scotty. But I think me and Gary are in the same age group. I think. So that would make total sense. The lady that was on the bridge with Spock and Kirk, the woman of color. She was the first woman of color in a repetitive role on TV. Dang, Gary's 70. He's older than me. That lady spoke at my sister's graduation from college.
She's
a very nice lady.
Like Catherine something?
Well, her name on the show was Uhura, as
it was
Gary so well pointed out.
Yeah.
And Commander Riker, that was number one.
Was that Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Catherine Zeta-Jones? What are you talking about?
Am I not Am I not? Am I just like? No, that's somebody else. Never mind.
Yeah, you're just whipping names out there.
I'm pretty sure this person was on Star Trek though. Am I just wrong?
Delphine's like, Buck Rogers was great.
Yeah, this
Myself.
Jessica
Yeah, there's
Williams.
Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica. Those were great shows. And back in our day, you had to wait until like Tuesday at 8:00 to see an episode. You could, and
Well, and now every week on Tuesday, you can find Feature Friday as an alternate to Star Trek.
There you go. This week on Feature Friday. What was your Feature Friday this week?
I don't. It's in one ear, out the other with me. I think it was Ninja Forms Formidable Forms. Getting started with Formidable Forms. We did a cool example where you can do a Formidable Forms, and what was the example? It was like if you it was within a lesson. Oh, selling coaching within a lesson. We showed a use case of how you can sell up coaching. So there's $1,000 coaching session that Chris throws out like huge numbers. Like, why don't we just offer $1,000 coaching session as a part of a lesson and make it optional? And you can do that with Formidable Forms. The free core Formidable Forms plugin has that as an option. They can do payments in that free plugin with Stripe. So you can say under your lesson content, under your video, under your text, hey, if you want a coaching session regarding this lesson specifically, fill out this form. It's a payment form, redirects them to a calendar, and then they can book a call with you. So that's a cool feature you could add to Lifter if you're looking for
cool
features.
See, that is pretty cool. We got all kinds of things we could talk about.
Yeah, the amount of use cases we've created over the years is mind-boggling.
Yeah, and what gets me is it's like no matter how big the arsenal is, someone shows up and says, well, can I do this, this, and this? And you're like, what? What?
Yeah. It does feel like the amount there was some statistic that, like, I'm misquoting this probably, but like some 50 or 80% of Google searches are completely unique, that have never happened before, exactly the way that someone else phrased it. So if you say like how to build a website with WordPress, or building a website with WordPress, or building a website with WordPress with all the potential typos that could have been entered, or website building in WordPress, website building plugin in WordPress tutorial. It's like the amount of variations is immense, and it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
I bought a new tool this week. I got suckered in by holiday sales.
It's 15%, not that many. But what you bought? What?
I bought another tool this week. I said I got suckered in by the deals.
Ooh, what kind of tool? Like a digital tool?
Yeah, I bought frames for Figma. Because I keep telling people I'm not a developer, I'm not a designer, I'm more of an implementer. And I realize that is wrong. Because whether I'm really into it or not, I've been developing and designing and doing graphics for people forever. I say it's not my forte, but then again, like even when I hire a graphic designer, I end up having to guide the project and do the project, and I'm responsible for the final layouts and stuff. So I was like, all right, let's look at who my target customers are. I'm either working, because I'm split. I'm either working with extreme startups, like this is your first site, and for that first site, maybe we use the Astra Pro Zip WP combination. Have you ever done that?
No.
Oh, that's cool. You're in for 15 minutes. You load up WordPress, you put in Astra Pro, you say load the starter templates, and then it says you want to build a website with AI, or do you want to use one of our standard templates? You say, oh heck no, let's do the AI thing. So I subscribed to the Zip WP thing too, and it asks you to like write a paragraph about your business. So you name the site, you write a paragraph about what the site's about, and then you can have AI rewrite that description to see if it makes it better. And then the next screen takes you to a series of stock images. You pick the stock images that you want, and then you pick the format that you want for the site. And then you can pick the global colors and fonts you want in the site. And then you click Make My Site. And literally about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, your site's done. You open it up and it's all there. Like bullet points, fake testimonials, 3 sample blogs on the subject matter that you made the site about. Paragraphs, maps, you put in your location and your phone number and all that. So it builds the contact page with the map and the clickable link for the phone number. And it does the whole thing, does all of it. And then, so what I'll do is for customers that are just starting out and they don't know much about WordPress, that's kind of a product journey for them. So then we say, okay, well, let's add, that was a weird noise. I might need to make sure my dog's not trying to knock over the Christmas tree.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit if you want to.
Yeah, but that's a really cool way. So I either focus on those startups and help them with like those kinds of startup packages and show them how that stuff works, or the complete opposite, some kind of an enterprise gig with full design, Figma design, graphic designers involved, and then tweaking the Figma and then converting Figma to the site and then adding all the functionality to it, make it a real project. But I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's cool. So if I jump back to my window, Figma is a really interesting software. I recommend that like new users to WordPress who haven't gotten into Figma maybe avoid it and go with something like Elementor that can be built within the backend of WordPress. It's interesting to think that like a lot of designers had used design software that was outside of WordPress and then tried to recreate it within WordPress, but now there's like the page builders like Divi, Elementor, Beaver Builder are to some degree page builders or design tools themselves. I've been making a lot of content about Elementor recently, but Figma is a really cool one. So there's like an importer, is that right, Kurt, where you can bring all that stuff you build in Figma right into WordPress?
Yeah, so I am a babe in the woods on this whole thing because I've put it off as much as possible. Last year we had a client that wanted a lot of custom work. You remember that because I talked to you about helping me on that project.
Yeah.
They submitted these Figma files where they had a reimagining of how the internet should work. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I ended up in that situation just adding someone to the team that did the custom CSS to do it the hard way. But and that's because it was custom elements within a pre-existing website, right? Like I didn't want to mess everything up. And they had Divi. So that was like just more nails in that coffin. But the project came out good. They're happy, everything's good, and it looks great. But my understanding, like using this frames for Figma thing, is I can build the whole site graphically in Figma and then basically through a plugin in WordPress convert that Figma file to a working WordPress website. And then you have to go through and make sure everything links up and does what you want it to do. But graphically, it brings it all in.
That is cool. It's neat to see more integrations between these tools develop and see what kind of direction they're developing in.
Well, so many times you're tempted to just say, oh, hey, let's just throw up a dev WordPress, workspace real quick. And I have my own hosting, as most agencies do. So if I want to throw up a dev site real quick and splash in WordPress and a couple of tools and especially if you're using like Aircraft, right? If you're building a LifterLMS site and you're using Aircraft, literally within minutes, you can be like, hero, this section, that section, blah, blah, deep, that page is done. Next, so a lot of people would do that. But then if you're working with a creative team in an enterprise project, then it seems more important to like not have a bunch of baggage and weight with a bunch of dev sites trying to pinpoint something. If you can make it in a graphical environment and have all of the arguments and the what ifs in that space and get it exactly the way it should be, and then pass it off to a team to make it real, I think that that's more efficient.
Yeah. I was talking about how there are also Elementor designers who you can find them on Fiverr or wherever, but people who specifically work with Elementor as a design tool. So then it's like you don't even need to pay for someone to rebuild what your designer created if you find an Elementor specific designer you're happy with.
Yeah. And I've been playing a lot with patterns lately too, where you start to create a page or something, and then you're like, well, I don't want to have to duplicate this for multiple pages or whatever. You don't. Like, you could literally save it as a pattern and then just use that pattern over and over in the site.
Yeah. No, definitely. And for those who might not know about the capabilities of the block editor, it's something that we're promoting a lot at Lifter, because Lifter works out of the box with WordPress really well, and we have the aircraft add-on, which gives you capabilities of patterns inside of the block editor. So these are pre-built patterns, so if you wanted to put together a sales page, it's going to be a relatively fast process if you have a universe bundle, infinity bundle, or just the aircraft add-on. So we could say the first part of our page should probably be a call to action, so let's just put that one on. And the second part could be maybe an about section, or maybe that could go a little bit lower, maybe services. So what we do, and then you could do maybe another call to action, something like that. And then maybe testimonials. It just makes it really fast to build pages, because all you have to do is kind of insert these patterns you want that are categorized, and then we can come in and edit these, put in our own pictures, put in our own, so this might be a picture we might have created in Canva or something, and then we'll add our own text here, and it will adapt to our formatting. And then when we're happy with it, switching out your pictures and text, publish that, view page. We could set this as our home page and sales page for our course, and it really just takes a short amount of time to lay it out because you're using the templates.
Yeah. I'm really big now on looking at the different blocks and pattern templates that are available with different packages now. It's pretty crazy. There's a huge library out there. Remember the I used it on a site and then I took it off. What was that? Christian's the guy that runs that project. The builder. I can't remember. Max Blocks. Is that what it was called? Max Blocks?
Maxi Blocks?
Maxi Blocks. That's it. Maxi Blocks. They have an incredible library of pre-styled blocks. It is lunacy. I stopped using it because I wanted to use bricks. So I put bricks on Mañana No Mas. But that Maxi Blocks thing, that was crazy. They started with Divi. Like, they used to be big Divi fans and had a lot of Divi assets, and they converted a lot of those assets to be blocks, and their library is like thousands of blocks deep, pre-styled, pre-designed, and each block has a light mode and a dark mode. So you can really play around quite a bit with their styling. It's a really cool tool when you're building stuff. If you're not imaginative. Like, I'm not saying I'm not imaginative. I should stop degrading myself. But I'm not overly great at working from scratch. Like, when it comes to design, I like when there's a template or a form or something to follow. And then if I know what that form is supposed to be, I can knock it out of the park. But I need to have some kind of a start.
Yeah.
Gary says, what do you think about the latest OpenAI copyright suit?
What do I think about it? I don't really know any information about it. I know that they're taking, like, the OpenAI is built on top of soft, like, things that are copyrighted, and then creating generative, like, items based on the copyrighted things and how that can't be proven necessarily. But I've not really been following the news on it. Have you, Kurt?
I think it is going to happen non-stop. everybody's going to want a piece of the pie somehow, some way with this AI revolution. And I think, like a lot of other things in existence, it came out of the chute and it started getting adoption before legislation could curb it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's already out. And I think there's going to be a lot of, it's like sampling. Like, remember when they were sampling music back in the day, and then it started to crack down on it? It's like, yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But you know, I work pretty hard on the content that I put on Mañana No Mas. Like, I have a lot of blogs. I've got something like 300 articles or something in there. I mean, I've had the blog for 15 years. So there's a ton of content in there, and there's a ton of work. And do I like the idea that some automated tool could go in and strip out my best ideas and then just give them away for free? Like, what makes people want to come to my area anymore, right? Like, that's just something to think about. And so what does that look like on a wholesale level? Like, how many people are going to remember what Wikipedia is called years from now, right? Because AI is basically just giving you the information direct from Wikipedia.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at like the state of AI lawsuits. There's a lot of them from different companies that are alleging that different, like, so if Gen AI is like searching Google, or Imagen AI, I think, was searching Google for images, and then Getty Images and places like that have images that rank in search results. And so then the training models are learning based on their image catalogs. And I think that, I mean, my opinion is fundamentally, I think information is moving towards being free. I don't think that it's like a moving train. I don't, like Kurt said, the genie's out of the bottle. I think that that's the way it's going, and that the lawsuits will do only so much, but the technology's kind of leading that.
Well, if you think about like Napster, right?
Yeah.
Napster came out, music became next to free, and then it was a big to do. And now, when's the last time you went and bought an album somewhere?
Right. It's like, just because the company got taken down doesn't mean that the practice is going to go away.
Yeah. So you just got to get better at delivering product, packaging information, and being better than the next people. You got to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, we're in overtime again. Look at that. We not only made it through the hour, we went past the hour. So, folks, this was awesome. We will see you next week. We do this just about every Thursday, and we certainly look forward to what do we look forward to?
Getting 55% off at LifterLMS.com/family
That is so good.
gift.
That is so good. I'm so glad that you're there to do that for me today. When I say I'm tired today, I mean, like, I'm really tired today. Can't really explain why.
I feel you.
All right. We'll see you next week.